Good boy, Tucker.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome.
Work smarter where you want.
Consistency is key.
And remember, if it's not in Redtail, it never happened.
This is learning at its most fun.
Redtail calendar. So with Redtail, your subscription allows access for up to 15 users to have their own username, password, and calendar. So calendaring is one of the most important things you're going to do in Redtail. It's going to hold you accountable for things that are going on for you in the office. And a lot of offices still like to use other calendars. I know we are creatures of habit, so there are some Outlook or Google people out there, and you can continue to use that. We would just suggest that you also connect those calendars together. I always get asked, why do I want to use the Redtail calendar? I'm already using Outlook or I'm already using Google. And the reason is because your calendar events are connected to contacts in Redtail. So if you're not having those softwares feed into Redtail and connecting those to clients, then you're really losing a whole half of your history because you're not completing activities that are getting date, time, and user stamp and saved as notes for history in a record. So I personally can't stress it enough that you want to use your calendar in Redtail. It provides a whole nother layer of history for your contacts. And if those are being housed in another software, you kind of have to refer to two different places. So it keeps everything in one place since Redtail is supposed to be the center. So we'll go ahead and jump into the system. We are going to cover calendar today, head to toe. So whenever you think calendar, I want you to think activities and vice versa. When I'm training and I click on the plus sign and show how to add in an activity, I just try to train people to think of activities as your calendar, because activities is something that takes place in the future, which will occupy a time and space on your calendar. So if you click on calendar on the left-hand side, this is going to be your calendar that you might see. And it might not be as crazy as this. We have a lot of stuff going on in the office for us, but we're going to kind of go, button by button and show you what's available. First thing here under the search contacts bar, you have these menus. First thing here is navigate. Navigate is going to be helpful for you if maybe, it's your birthday in March of 2021 and you want to see, if you can schedule some vacation for that week. Instead of going to month view and then toggling this over and over and over until you get to that date, instead you can click navigate and go ahead and push it this way. It's a lot faster because you're not having to load all of the calendar events for each month. So this will allow you to zoom into the future really quickly, click on a certain time and date, and then you can toggle it back to the view to go ahead and say, all right, I'm taking this whole week off. So that is the navigate button. It's going to allow you to zoom into the future really quickly, no loading of events. You could always click today and it'll take you back to today as well. Actions. Actions is going to be the most common menu that you're going to be using. First thing, and one of my favorite things about the calendar, is changing your colors. So here with the colors, you can choose whatever colors you want. And colors are based on username. So my colors can be different than your colors. So you can go ahead and click on, the activity type, and you can go ahead and move throughout the color wheel to select your favorite color that you want to see and even the tone of the favorite color that you want to see. So another tip and trick here, maybe you want everything to be in this blue color, except you want meetings to be in red. You can consider just copying this code and pasting it into whatever else. So that way, you can have the same color for the things you're looking for and then change whatever else. So these colors are different for each person. We do kind of get the question a lot of, can I make colors database wide? The closest thing you can do to that is kind of set a style sheet. If you want these colors for everyone in the office, you could maybe take like a screenshot of this and send it to everyone or include it in a style sheet that you provide to everyone. And then they could put in this color code, and that'll, when they log into Redtail, they'll have the same colors as you. Now, what you cannot do is you cannot make colors for each user. So you can't say, I want all of Tucker's colors in red or Tucker's activities in red. I want all of Tom's in yellow. I want all of Jerry's in green. That's not how it works. The way that color assignment comes from is from the activity type. So when you click on the plus sign, choose to add in an activity, this type is where that calendar color association is coming from. So you're not making it based on user, you're making it based on type. So that is very important to remember. The closest thing I've seen done to make that happen is you would make appointment Jerry, appointment Tom, appointment Tucker, and do that for each one. And then you could assign the colors for each person. But that'll definitely increase your calendar color or calendar type list. The next one here is completed background color. So you're going to notice here I have these peach items showing up, and that means those are completed. So a lot of people like to see their completed items on their calendar. So you do have that option. If you select action, you can go to select show completed. And right now it says hide completed because mine are being shown right now. But you can toggle that on and off as you see needed. And when you want to change that color, you would just click on actions, select change color, and choose what color you want to see. So that applies for most of the list here. You're going to be able to see all of the different colors you can assign for seminars, workflows, reminders, and holidays. Now, many of these things that we're talking about can be done in the preferences. Like if you want to click on your calendar and always see those completed activities, you don't want to have to toggle it on and off. You could click on your name, go to preferences, and go to the calendar management here. And you could change some of these from no to yes, yes to no, just depending on what you're looking for. And remember, these are all preferences are based on username. So same thing, my colors, my preferences can be different than your colors and your preferences. So definitely have that availability here. Another thing while we're on this preferences here is you have a default calendar view. Right now ours is set to show the week, but maybe you prefer to just see the day or the month. You could change that permanently here and toggle it as you see fit while you're on the calendar page. You can change the default calendar start of the week. A lot of people are like, I don't work Sunday. I don't want to see Sunday when I log into my calendar. So you can change that default start of the week to Monday. So that way it shows Monday first. And then you could change the calendar start time and end time. If you're booking dinners at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you want to move this end time to maybe something like 8 or 9. So that way it'll show those times on your calendar. If you have the end time of your calendar at 5 o'clock, and you have a 6 o'clock appointment, then it's not going to show up. And that does happen, to us as well. I know we have someone on our team that sends out emails for what's going on for everyone in the week. And they had their calendar set to 8 a.m., where I can schedule 7 o'clock calls for some of the East Coast people. So he was not catching those calls that I had scheduled because his calendar was set to start at 8. So you might want to make sure you check this and, check it, recheck it later throughout the year and make sure it is showing what you want to see. Calendar time slots, 15-minute slots will be the most common one. But really what you're thinking about with those time slots is how thick do you want these intervals to be? So I have it set to 15 minutes. So you see there's 4 boxes within each hour, breaking it out to the 15th minute. But if you prefer to see 2 or just 1, you can go ahead and change that preference. We're back in the calendar page here. We're going to go to actions. And pretty much most of the things here, at least from this second item to the third from the bottom, is all covered in preferences, because these are all preferences you can set to be permanently yes and permanently no to show or hide these. Once you have that preference set and you just want to toggle things, maybe just for right now in this moment, I want to show weekends, I can set that action to show the weekend just for right now, and it'll go back when I go back to the calendar because of my preference. So a lot of these already covered just because we just talked about preferences. Next one here, subscribe to iCalFeed. Big spoiler, iCalFeed has nothing to do with Apple. It sounds like it would because it has that I structure, but it has nothing to do with Apple. It stands for Internet Calendar. So what you want to think of here is maybe when we're using Mac computers. So maybe when I open up my Mac computer's calendar, I want to see my Redtail events. I can select subscribe to iCalFeed and it'll open up the machine's calendar to download the Redtail calendar into the Mac calendar in this example. So that way, when I go to my Finder, I open up calendar, I'm going to be able to see my Redtail events there. With iCal, it is super important to remember it is a read only. So when you are looking at the calendar that is going to different devices, it's read only. So if you were to change a time and date or delete something, it's not going to push back up to Redtail. It's just pushing from Redtail down. And I personally have iCalFeed set up on my calendar. I always get that question of, when I open up my phone calendar, I want to see Redtail in there. And that is possible. You could just take your mobile device, use your mobile device's browser to go to redtailtechnology.com, sign in, go to the calendar page, click actions and select subscribe to iCalFeed, and same exact thing, it will download the iCal into your phone's calendar. So that way when you're on your phone, you click on calendar, you're seeing your Redtail events. Same exact thing there though, read only. Print calendar is an option that's available for our visual people that like to print this off and pin it on the wall or have it available when you're on the go. So print calendar is available for you under actions. Now the next 3 drop down menus you see, these are going to help you so much to see what you want to see. So by default, when you click on calendar, you're seeing everyone's calendar. And that's because this drop-down menu here, if you have no name selected, that means it's showing all. And you can kind of see that represented because it says all users. But if you're like, you know what, I do not care what Jack's doing. Who cares about Paul? I just care about me. You want to make sure you isolate this calendar to me. So that way you're only seeing your calendar. If you want to see you and your buddy Teddy, you can go ahead and check off both names and it'll join both of those calendars into one. So most frequently you're going to want it set to just me, but you might be in a situation where you want everyone. And you will notice we do have something like conference room in here. So remember, your Redtail subscription allows access for up to 15 users. So sometimes offices can spare a user and they'll create a user of the conference room. So this might not even be relevant right now, but what that'll allow is, remember, a user has their own username, password, and calendar. So if you want to see if the conference room is available, you can go ahead and choose the conference room calendar, and then you can ask everyone to add the conference room onto an activity when they're using it. So that way it'll occupy that time and space, and you can see when it's available and when it's not. So if you can spare a user, you might consider adding in a conference room. We've seen that done a lot. And that way you can go ahead and make sure the conference room is available. So just remember, everyone will need to, when they add in an activity, or in this situation, we'll do meeting in conference room. When they add this and select create and edit, they're going to want to make sure that they also add in the conference room calendar. So that way it'll occupy that time and space on the calendar. So I'll say, you know, it's a 9:15 meeting tomorrow. You know, that's where you can see the conference room is being used, because I'm showing just the conference room calendar. We also do that internally for days out and vacations. So we have a process where anyone who's going to be out of the office, when you schedule a doctor's appointment or you schedule a vacation, you also add the days out calendar on there as well. So that way, you know, if somebody's scheduling conferences or somebody's assigning out projects, they can have the conference or the days out calendar being shown as well. So that way they can see, you know, Teddy's out, Paula's out, Bill is out, Catherine's available. You know, all of that will be shown if you choose. So those are kind of two ideas if you see them being useful. Now, types and categories. So I've seen this be asked a lot where people are like, I just want to see my appointments. I don't want to see anything else on my calendar. Well, you would just want to isolate it to show just appointments, and that's what it's going to show for you, is just appointments. So if you do prefer, you know, maybe you just want to see your tasks, you can go ahead and choose which one you want to see, and it'll go ahead and, you know, just represent that when you click calendar. But I personally like to see everything. So I'll go ahead and change that there. And same thing with category. You know, maybe you want to see everything, all of your trades coming up. You know, you could isolate this to show just trade requests as the category, and it would go ahead and choose that for you. So whether you select all or you select none, it means the same thing. It'll mean all of them are selected. And then you can toggle a day, week, and month view. That is all going to be available here as well. So a lot of things there that we covered in regards to the calendar. You have these menus here to help you out. And really, we're not reinventing the wheel when we're talking about the calendar in Redtail. It's the same calendar that you see everywhere else, but there are some things that we do for you in regards to the preferences or calendar sharing. If you're looking to share your calendar to Outlook, you would want to think, is it Outlook for that's on your machine, or is it Outlook 365? And you could always reach out to our team and we can help you. But if it's on your machine, you could download our Retriever tool. If it's 365, you can click on your name, go to manage your integrations, and go down to the letter R for Retriever. And Retriever Cloud, if you click on that action and click settings, you can set up and enable a sync with Outlook 365 this way, and even Google. So both of those are available here. I personally cannot stress enough, why you want to use the Redtail calendar. I definitely understand we're creatures of habit, so I see why you wouldn't. But once you get used to it, I can't even emphasize the value that you're gaining and that you're losing if you're not using it. Because if I go to the latest notes here, you can see all of these activities are on Bruce's record. If these are only being added to Outlook or only being added to Google, this whole history of this check process is gone. It's nowhere to be found in Redtail. And Redtail is the most compliant option for you. So all of that is available. If you go to reports on the left, you do have some activity reports. Remember, I like to think of activities as my calendar. So you can find, your deleted activities here, your deleted calendar items. You can find activities or calendar items assigned to you by other people. So if you were out on vacation for a couple days and want to see what was assigned to you while you were gone, this would be a nice one to check out. Activities assigned by you to others. Maybe you've trickled out some to-do items to your team and you want to see the progress. You can check out this report and it will show you that. And then activities by contact would be the most common one you'd use. This is just showing a list. So calendar, super visual, shows you dates and times and colors. When I'm showing these reports, this is just a physical list of that. And you might prefer the physical list if you go to today. There's also a tab here that says activities. This is the same thing here. It's a physical list of what would be on that calendar. So you can filter the dates to show past due and next 7 or just past due and see what's going on for you in a list version instead of the calendar. But that is all that we wanted to cover today. The most important places that we covered is the calendar on the left-hand side. And then if you click on your name and go to preferences, it'll be the calendar management here. So definitely think about it, commit to it, commit your team to it. It really is going to help you a lot in the future. And, it'll allow you to even push things back and forth as well.
Thanks so much for joining us today for this particular session. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call at 800-206-5030, option 3 for support, or just shoot us an email over to support@redtailtechnology.com. Thanks a lot and have a great day.